for April. We're going to start off with the Cub Scouts side giving their presentation, their discussion. Wendy and Kat, thank you. And we'll at the halfway point, we'll give announcements when Wendy is done.
Hey guys, how are you all? This is going to be a bit of a strange roundtable, given that David already has kind of learned how I do annual program planning. So Laura, you're in for a treat, I guess. My name is Kat. I am one of your Cub Scout Roundtable commissioners. Wendy McBride is about to present on communication, but I did want to go through some housekeeping issues real quick. As of now, day camp will take place as normal. The theme is Cubs on the Outback. People are working very hard on it, so just know that. Resident camp, as of now, will take place as normal. The theme will be medieval, sort of a Knights of the Round Table. Wash Jam, which if you are not familiar with, it's a once every 4 years meeting of all of the packs and troops and units in Washington. As of right now, will take place as normal this summer in August, I think the 23rd and 4th and 5th. That's hosted by Pacific Harbors Council at Joint Base Lewis McChord, but I encourage even the youngest scouts to sign up for at least one overnight. And then when you're planning summer activities, just a friendly reminder, you should plan them while remembering to be flexible and to absolutely have your plan be set up and ready to go. With that, I turn this over to Wendy.
All right. Hello, everyone. I think we can all agree that now more than ever is a greater need for communication. There are more questions, more confusion. There's no face-to-face contact, more isolation. People don't know what to do. They don't know how to hold virtual meetings, don't know how to do scouting at home. Everything is really different now. So we're going to cover the H and 5 W's of communication. So the first thing you want to think about is how to communicate. Lots of different methods. I'm going to throw a question out to you. What communication methods work best for your packs? All right. Oh, text.
If Cub Scout leaders want to unmute at this point, now would be the time.
We had a chat post. Laura says that text, email, and Facebook work best for their packs. Any other thoughts on how to communicate? All right, moving right along. Obviously, you want to be in communication quite frequently with your packs. There's a lot of change going on, and it's hard to keep up. And what are you want to think about what you want to be communicating. There's some general information that everybody ought to know. There have been extensions for rank advancement. The kids have until July now to finish up rank advancement. Everybody should be keeping in mind youth protection safety and online safety when you're doing your video conferencing. You want to make sure that whatever platform you're using, you have a password, you admit people through a waiting room. That way you can prevent your meeting from being hijacked and bombed. Parents should know that they can pass off Cub requirements, including Webelos parents. You want to keep your pack up to date on whatever changes are going on, cancellations, rescheduling, etc. And you might want to share some resources with your packs, such as the 30-day challenges that are out there. Next slide, please. So we're getting a little more into the W of who. Cub masters or committee members will want to communicate with their den leaders when you want the kids to finish their rank advancement and keep people up to date on what online meetings there are, when they'll be occurring, what platform, all that sort of thing. Next slide, please. Den leaders will want to communicate to the parents when you want to be finishing the rank requirements. You'll want to communicate to the parents what adventure they'll be working on for the particular week or month. And in so doing, you want to outline what they should work on during a given week, provide suggestions on how to accomplish the tasks, and have a virtual meeting if it makes sense. You also want to monitor the progress of the scouts. And if there are some scouts that just aren't progressing, you should reach out to the parents and find out if there are any issues you can help them with. And you want to make sure the parents understand how to sign off the requirements and enter it in Scout Book. Next slide, please. The final W is why. When we communicate, we want to manage uncertainty, we want to maintain connections with our pack members, we want to reduce confusion and share resources. All this seems really obvious, and it really is, but we want to keep in mind the why so that we can communicate more effectively. And I'd invite you all to turn on your mics and contribute any comments or thoughts you have on pack communication during this time.
Sent out a virtual PAC meeting just this week and did a video challenge. Had all we're doing first responder, first aid stuff, and the video challenge was to have the parents and or scouts trade off being the rescuers and the victims and send in your appropriate video to the Cubmaster, and then I would edit it all together into one big video file to send out after the fact.
That sounds like a great meeting. All right, I would like to point you towards a online resource. The link is there on the screen. It's about how to run a virtual pack. There are lots of great ideas on that link, including the information I've shared with you. And so I'll turn the time back over to Kat.
Thank you, Wendy. I think those are all really important and excellent points that you've made. I did want to kind of piggyback off of some of that and remind the Cub leaders that we are dealing with 5 to 11-year-olds. So the way that you might communicate with the parents in your pack or the other leaders will be quite different to how you communicate with the youth in your pack. And that's okay. Just keep trying things until they work. And then you will have a winning formula once you find what works for your individual pack. So just hang in there and kind of remember everything Wendy's spoken about. We're going to switch gears here, and we are going to play Annual Program Planning, The Chase. And for dramatic effect, that is a game show that took place here in the United States for several years, as well as overseas in the United Kingdom. And so I decided to sort of base our annual program planning game off of that. So each challenger or roundtable participant will be asked to do the following. We will first have a kindness building round where I will ask all Cub leaders to unmute their microphones and ask kindness questions. We will go for 1 minute, and correct answers will get points. Incorrect answers, no penalty. And then we will assign individual questions to you each against the beasts, and you will see who they are in just a moment. So there will be 3 to each challenger and then 3 rounds. And then the lightning round, it's going to be 1 question anyone can answer, but the correct answers gain a point. So at the end of the game, we will find out whether we beat the chase or if the beasts beat us. The beasts being myself and our own district commissioner, Kenneth Fisher. Ken, can you give us our best roar? That was frighteningly excellent, Ken. So you are trying to beat us in this game. You are Team Alpine. Alpine. And this is the kindness builder round. If I could just have the Cub leaders present and participating, give their name and scouting position so that I know how many slides to assign you each.
Laura, the Cub Master for 638.
Thank you, Laura.
David, Cub Master 682.
Awesome. And I'm Kat, and I am from Pack 680. So what we're going to do is for the next minute, I am going to ask you some kindness questions. Every one you get correct, you'll get a point for. So when you are ready, let me know.
Why not? We're ready.
Awesome. Thank you. So, first question. What does it mean to do a good turn daily?
Do we chime in?
Yeah.
Is this like Jeopardy?
So it kind of is. I'm sorry. Yeah. So I'll kind of just ask speed questions in this round. And then you guys just shout out your answers, and then we'll go to the individual questions. Does that make better sense?
Yeah. I'll answer. I would say do a good turn daily is doing something nice or good for somebody other than yourself every day.
Absolutely. 1 point to you. What is your favorite joke?
A joke doesn't become isn't an adult until it becomes apparent.
Very good. Does being kind mean only in scouting?
No.
No.
Is kindness a type of respect?
Is what?
Kindness a type of respect?
Yes.
Yes.
What is a kind way to address one another?
Proper greeting. You could be using Mr. and Mrs. or hello or greetings.
Absolutely.
Shake hands.
You get the point. How can you individually practice kindness?
Lead by example. Say hello to your scouts, know all their names, learn something about them.
Thank you, Laura. Have you thanked anyone today?
Yes.
Excellent. And then what's your happy music? Okay, so I'm going to answer this one so we get all 10 correct. I've been listening to the Les Miserables soundtrack, and so everything I do has this triumphant one day more soundtrack in my head. And that's been keeping me pretty happy. So thank you guys. I know that you're sort of being guinea pigs, and I really, really appreciate it. All of your answers were absolutely correct. Those are ways that we can build kindness amongst ourselves and, more importantly, amongst our scouts. So to move into the annual program planning aspect of this, Challenger 1, this is set up for a little more than 2 people. So we'll just go back and forth. But the first question is, what is your name and role in scouting? And the third question is, please share one example of how you used physical distancing to remain in contact with your pack. Those are the same questions for every single slide. And then there will be one annual program planning question on each under number 2. Does that make sense?
Yes.
David, you hanging in?
Yep.
Awesome. So if you don't mind being participant number 1, Laura?
Sure thing.
Thank you. When should annual program planning take place?
Well, this is my first year as Cub Master, but I would say now or in the summer.
So both of those are absolutely correct. Anytime is the perfect time to be planning. But June is an especially good time because it's before people are scattered for the year and long enough before the school year relaunches to look into your ideas and executions. So this year might be a little bit different, and we'll discuss that. David, if you're ready, we have your question, which is who should be the main officers presenting at the annual program planning conference?
The committee members. So your treasurer, the committee chair, Cub Master, and the den leaders.
Absolutely. So the only difference I had in my answer is the treasurer and secretary should both be present, but make sure everyone is welcome. So that's exactly correct. Laura, question 3. Who should receive the annual planning calendar once it is completed?
Everyone should receive the annual planning calendar.
Excellent. You guys are on fire. You are going to beat Ken and I very quickly. David, how often should meeting ideas and outings be repeated for your annual program planning, with the exception of annual events?
If I understand, meaning don't repeat the same thing year after year?
Yeah, sort of. So what would be the ideal frequency to repeat an idea?
Maybe every 3-4 years. That way it kind of starts to feel like it's not repetitive.
Exactly. Typically the advice had been 4 years. Now I think it might even be extended further, I'm not sure, but the idea was if you start your tiger year, you won't repeat any activity. So you're exactly correct. You are. So Laura, should summer be planned during your annual program planning conference?
Yes, it should.
Awesome. That is absolutely correct. You want to make sure you plan a full year. Again, we're keeping in mind that we will be flexible throughout the year and things will change, but we want to basically have a loose plan. So that's again correct. David, how do you feel about number 6?
Oh, the question that was just asked?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. So on the slide now, who should complete surveys prior to the annual program planning meeting?
For my pack, I actually do 3 surveys, one for the scouts, one for the parents, and one for the leaders.
Awesome. So that is the 6th point this round. Where can a leader find annual program planning ideas?
Oh, all over the place. I would say Pinterest or on the council websites from other Roundtable members.
Exactly. And extra points for bringing up Roundtable, right? So start with your BSA resources, but inspiration can be found anywhere, and look for it in all of those places. What topics could be covered or added to the agenda for your annual program planning? I'm sorry. David, okay.
Yeah, let's see. Topics could be covered. Could be outings, could be pack meetings as to what topics might be for each particular one, so you know in advance. What weekend spring camp out's going to be, what session resident camp everybody wants to do, etc.
Yes, absolutely. So ideally you're reviewing your previous year and then kind of running through the next one and voting on what those topics will be. So, Laura, who should research fun activities for the dens and pack to participate in?
I guess if you have an activities chair, that would be that person, but we don't. So I would say everybody.
And that is the correct answer. Yeah, anyone might have an excellent idea. Don't discount ideas just because they don't come from the top. Make sure you're speaking to your parents. Make sure that you know what's working for your den leaders and you're involving them in making your decisions. And then, David, if you could answer what resources should den leaders and committee members be offered at the annual program planning meeting from leadership, I would appreciate it.
Previous calendar, the output of the surveys, any minutes that were from the previous year. I'm trying to remember my last one. Any handouts or any ideas that something has been brought up in previous minutes or leadership meetings that may want to be discussed or activities?
Exactly.
And then I'm out of ideas.
No, you're not out of ideas. You've just answered the question quite thoroughly. Make sure you're offering the correct leadership binders, the scout tracking tools. Oftentimes, PACs will vote on, or at least review the budget to be voted on, so that sometimes will be handed out. But, you know, the list of open positions and the previous minutes and everything is absolutely correct. So right now, it is 20 points for you guys, and Ken and I have 0. So could you each please share one example of how you have used physical distancing to remain in contact with your pack?
Sure, I'll go. Maybe 2 examples, because one we haven't done yet, but we're working on it. So we have, I'm regularly posting on our private Facebook page just to try and keep the families engaged. And then we're working on dropping off scouting care packages at each door for everybody who feels comfortable with that. And we're going to include a yo-yo and the instructions for the yo-yo elective or preview adventure. And we're going to include a little laminated knot card and some popsicle stick catapult kit and some other little scouting type things.
Awesome.
Let's see. We've been using Facebook Scoutbook to communicate, and then also sending out the Scout Challenge sheets, trying to find different sheets through different councils. So that, and then sending those out once a month. So kind of changes up the ideas for getting the parents to actually do things with the Scouts. And then we're also holding virtual den meetings. We're continuing to hold our normal den meetings in the same frequency and just coming up with ways to do it everybody remote.
Fantastic. I appreciate all of those examples. I just to keep in mind the BSA roundtable time, the final question is what adjustments might need to be made for the summer and going into the school year. I'm just going to rattle off a couple real quickly and let you know that you have absolutely beat the beasts. Congratulations. But so no one knows what will happen with this virus, not a single soul. So don't put money down on things unless you absolutely must. Understand that things may be backed up or delayed once they are open again. Plan for back to school parties, celebrate rank advancements, but have a virtual option available to you for now. Take it month by month as we get information. What we know right now is we cannot meet in the schools through next fall because Inslee has shut those schools down. So, you know, we need to be tuned into that school calendar, even if it's not being followed. Don't pressure people to come out of the quarantine if they don't feel it's safe, and don't judge other people's ways to protect themselves. And then I found this awesome Baden-Powell quote: "Scouting is a movement because it moves forward. As soon as it stops moving, it becomes an organization and is no longer scouting." And just keep in mind that that is what every one of us are doing right now. We are moving forward, and we are adapting to the times and the challenges, and we are rising to them and meeting them and overcoming them. And we are keeping scouting as a movement as such. So be proud of yourselves. I hope the kindness round gave you a couple things to smile about and some positive things to think about. And I hope that you enjoy your annual program planning when you have it. Did anyone have any questions?
No questions for me?
None from me.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And we will see you back on May 14th to discuss physical distancing crossovers and 6-foot activities.
But Kat, I didn't get to use my pool noodle to get my distance from the screen here.
I'm so sorry. They should have.
We should get like 3 points for that or something.
I still think they beat us.
I think they beat us smartly. Thanks, Kat.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Kat and Wendy, for a great presentation for the Cub Scout side. Now we're gonna move into some announcements. Ken, if you'd like to speak to whitewater rafting.
Absolutely. So this will be our third year we're offering this. It'll be the last Saturday of June this year, June 27th. We work with an organization called River Recreation. It's owned and operated by Don Martin. He's an Eagle Scout. He gives us a very generous discount for a half-day float trip. It's $59 per person plus tax. That includes the raft guide, a wetsuit and some booties, paddles, PFDs, everything. And you can sign up on the website there at peak.com, either for the 9 a.m. or the 1:30 p.m. float trip. If you're going with your troop or crew, that you decide which time you want people to go. My own troop has done this as a camp out. We'll go camp out either Friday or Saturday night, and that's kind of fun to do. Makes for a great outing, weekend outing. There are a couple of good campgrounds, state park campgrounds, assuming they'll be open by then. Wenatchee Confluence and Lincoln Park state campgrounds are not far from there and are great campouts. They are also offering BSA merit badge classes. They are whitewater merit badge and kayaking merit badge. Whitewater in particular is a hard one to find anybody that teaches that or offers it. So they're offering it every Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday this summer from June through August, mid-August. And if you go on their website, riverrecreation.com, they actually have a special page just for BSA merit badges. So great opportunity to do that. The merit badge classes are a full day, and there's a cost to those as well, but a lot of fun. My boys did that last summer and had a really nice time. Got some good experience with whitewater rescue. That's all I have. Encourage everybody to sign up.
Thank you, Ken. And then this next slide is the announcements of what's going on in the district according to the council webpage. If anybody wants to take a look at these, we'll leave this up for a few minutes. This stuff is available on the council webpage if you want to just go to there and take a look. Chris, do you have any announcements?
Yes. Sorry, I needed to get myself unmuted. First off, this is Chris McDill, your district executive. So I got an interesting question the other day from a cub leader, and I wanted to share the results of that to everyone. Normally, so their pack a lot of their kids are actually earning their ranks right now because they're continuing to meet weekly and do activities, and they're asking how to get their rank advancement items. So obviously, our scout shop is closed, and it will continue to be closed while our council office is closed. However, the scoutshop.org, that is our national scout shop website. They are normally you wouldn't be able to buy restricted items like rank advancements. However, during this time, if you go to scoutshop.org, there's a banner at the front page. You can click on that. It says Scout Shop is here to support scouting at home. Order your advancement materials online. And there is a way to be able to order those advancement materials online. So they'd be shipping out of our national warehouse, which is based out of Charlotte, North Carolina. They're only filling orders, I think, at this point, like twice a week, and they send things out ground shipping, which means it's under normal circumstances, it's 5 business days. So, excuse me, sorry, everyone. So take that what you will, but that's going to be a lot faster than, mid-May. Not to mention, I don't know what kind of stock levels we may get at as everyone rushes the scout shop during the first week looking for the same materials. Other than that, I wanted to thank a number of people that have helped keep scouting going. First off, I want to thank Eric and Michael. Those are district tech people. They've been helping keeping our district virtual meetings go on without too many hitches. Want to thank our roundtable commissioners, Lori, Kat, Wendy, for coming up with these topical presentations and help our leaders. I want to thank all of our Cub leaders and Scout PSA, venturing leaders, unit leaders, community chairs, den leaders, everyone for continuing to find ways to provide the scouting program to our youth during this time. I want to thank Lisa, who is our merit badge coordinator on the district. She has coordinated quite a number of virtual merit badge classes this month. I also want to thank those merit badge counselors. It's quite an impressive undertaking. The first classes are actually tonight. If you go to our district webpage on seattlebsa.org, go to the Alpine district, you can find those there. So that's providing program to a lot of our youth. Dave Clemens, he's our district advancement chair. He's been helping keeping the Eagle Scout process going on. You're going to be hearing a little bit more about that later. I want to thank Brent Benson and our 08 Order the Arrow chapter. They've recently had to they just made the decision to cancel our camporee this next month. I know they've been putting a lot of work into it, and I'm sure they're disappointed, but we're going to be going forward from there. Also, our district leaders, Rob and Ken, for helping keeping us all on track. I'm sure I've forgotten some people, but so thank you to everyone and for all you're doing during this difficult time. That's all I have.
Thank you, Chris. Sounds good. And thank you, everybody, for all your help and participation in this whole virtual meeting. It's definitely a new way to go. Rob, do you have any announcements?
I see. Hi, Lori. I want to first of all thank everybody. We've got a team of Michael and Eric Granning and Michael Peckle. Check, making sure I'm to that special role right now. These are challenging times, but the news is starting to be very optimistic. Starting today, it looks like we're starting to turn the corner. And so really being prepared has been our motto. And right now, it's really important for us to focus on when we get things back up and running. I'm excited about the whitewater rafting. It's going to be one of the very first outdoor activities once we come out of this whole event. And we have to remind ourselves that we were founded 110 years ago, 8 years before a similar event, and scouting grew through all of that. And this is our opportunity to use new technology we haven't in the past. And so I'm excited with the work of Lisa Widener of putting on a virtual merit badge seminars here for the district. And lastly, I want to make sure that the last 2.5 and then also come June, we will have our annual meeting and elections, and Todd Brown has agreed to be the next district chairman, which I'm so excited about. And so thank you for all the volunteers, all the time you're putting into making sure that the program continues even in these challenging times. Please stay safe and healthy. And I think today, with the sun being out, is a glimmer of hope of the summer ahead, and much, much more fun times for all of us. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Rob. We have Russell and Brent for OA. Do you have any announcements you'd like to make?
Yes. So as you heard, Camporee we've decided to cancel that just because it's kind of just right outside that window of the whole order, all the orders and stuff being lifted up. So discussing with Benson, he wants to do some form of an online Camporee. What that's probably going to be is probably OA boys doing some sort of kind of scout training videos, whether that be knots, knife sharpening. I don't know what it's going to be per se just yet. Benson hasn't totally come up with full details there. The next thing there is the online OA unit elections. I know we've gotten a few emails with that. So we've come up with kind of a plan. I'm kind of be working on a document to share out on the Facebook page and to everybody that kind of goes over what our plan is there. So pretty much to sum it up is it's going to be units have to have had at least one online virtual meeting prior to the election and everything like that. So they can work out the details before we come in and host the election. Next thing is when they have the election stuff, they just need to share us the link that we need to click on to join the meeting. So we don't have to have a separate meeting for your troop or anything like that. We can just hop into your existing meetings. We'll review the requirements and stuff like that, go over what we would typically do at a normal OA election physically, and then we will be sharing a Google form via the chat function in most of these meeting things. That way, all the boys can click on it, and then they can vote for the eligible youth. Then from there, we'll announce who was elected and everything like that. And then from there, we'll move on to working with the Scoutmaster or troop committee member in charge of the paperwork there. We'll work with them to get all the paperwork filled out. And then from there, we will keep everybody posted on what OA ordeals are happening and everything like that and how it's impacting there. But that generally sums up most of our plans there. It's kind of a slow working process because we're all still trying to figure out what we're doing here. So if we haven't gotten back to you, we will be getting back to you fairly soon. So just keep you guys all posted there. All right.
Thanks, Russell. Sounds good. Do you know what for the OA, are you guys going to be sending an email to have a virtual meeting?
So we will be discussing that with Benson and Peter sometime either tomorrow or this weekend, and going over what they want to do and stuff like that, and how they want to host an OA meeting, a virtual OA meeting, and see if they want to do that and everything like that. It very well could happen, very well couldn't. We're going to leave that up to Benson and Peter there. So.
All right. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Any other announcements?
No, I think that's everything.
Yep, that covered it.
Perfect. Thank you, Russell. Thank you, Brent. Any
Perfect.
other announcements from the general public? All right, that being said, we will start the Scouts BSA portion tonight with Mr. Clemens. He's going to be discussing Life to Eagle and how to go about it virtually as well.
Okay, am I on now?
You are.
Okay. I wasn't quite sure how this was going to work out as far as visual aids. The thing to keep in mind for all of this Life to Eagle stuff is go to the source and verify the source directly. So that means to use the Guide to Advancement, which is available online as PDF. There's specifics about the project, specifics about the whole process all the way along. There's also on our district site, I had a one-page Trail to Eagle guideline. That is still mostly accurate. It has the links for the advancement workbook, for the guide to safe scouting. It has my contact information, my mail address, my email address. The things that have changed, we're no longer doing face-to-face. I'm sorry, we are doing face-to-face project reviews and approvals. It's just that they're online face-to-face, not in person. So we've had, I think we've done a half a dozen project reviews within the last month, within the last week. We've had 2 boards of review within the last couple of weeks that went, that were online, and that worked out very, very well. Actually takes me a lot less time because there's no travel time involved. There are some other significant changes in the process, and just like that have to do with this COVID-19 stuff. So if you always got to go back to the website and back to the source. That, I think if I were to give you a handout today, there is a 50-50 chance that it will be outdated within a week. So always go back to the council website or the district website. On the council website, national statement on COVID-19, and then it has a section called COVID-19 FAQ, frequently asked questions. And let's see, but I don't know about the 5 pages into that. Does a national council grant extensions of time to complete rank requirements beyond the 18th birthday for Eagle? And the answer is yes. That is in the Guide to Advancement, and it's in detail there. But there's also some specific COVID-19 things that has to go to national, so it needs to be submitted to the council, and they'll pass it on to national. So far, I'm sorry, that's not correct. The local council can grant the extensions. So far, they're limited to granting them through September the 30th. There are a number of problems with doing a service project that makes supervision of your volunteers difficult. There are a handful of scouts that are working on projects now that seems to be working, but for most of the projects, they need to get out and work together. So hopefully the restrictions will be lifted, but for now, you can get an extension through the 30th if you apply in writing to the council. So when the council receives a COVID-19 related request, it reviews the request and approves if appropriate. A written response stating the outcome goes back to the youth. If it's extension that's going to be for farther than 3 months beyond the 18th birthday, then that has to go to national. There is also a new form that can be used for a letter of reference that is not nearly as hard to for the reference writers to fill in. It just is essentially a letterhead with blank on it. That's on the council website. I noticed on the list I saw at least 3 of our Life Scouts. I recognize their names. I think I fell off.
You're back.
Okay. So how many Life Scouts do we have in the meeting now?
I know that you have 4 from 636. I don't know about other troops.
Okay, yeah, I recognize 3 of them.
Got a couple from 571.
Okay. Do they have any specific questions that we can address?
Feel free to unmute if you guys have any questions at this time. You're also more than welcome to type in your questions and we can address them through the chat if you don't have them ready right now.
Hey, David, if I could, I just want to comment that, our scouts wanted to do a project and you were very helpful. And I encourage other Life to Eagle candidates, very helpful in figuring out how to do a project virtually, what would qualify, what wouldn't qualify, helped out a lot with the projects that these guys have going on during this time. Just want to encourage other scouts to reach out to you and ask for help and advice if they're struggling with how to get a project done. It's an interesting time we live in, but projects are still getting done.
Yeah, the requirements are still the same. You've got to develop a plan, provide and give leadership and benefit some organization in the community. So those are the criteria you've got to meet. Anybody have any other questions?
David, I think it's also
good
good
at the moment.
David, I think it's also good to note that the Merit Badge Fair that's coming up has a number of Eagle merit badges that can be accomplished. I did have a question about that. I noticed that the limit was 1 Eagle merit badge per customer. If there's space, will they allow somebody to take more than one? Because we have some guys that are getting a little long in the tooth by Life Scout standards. And it would be nice if they were able to fill those empty spots and get some extra Eagle Scout merit badges done.
That would be a question, I think, for Lisa.
Yeah, that would be best to send an email to Lisa asking her if that's possible.
Okay. I'll do it.
All right. Any other questions for Mr. Clemens? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clemens, for talking about advancement and Life to Eagle in this odd time and how we can go about getting things done. Any other announcements or discussions to be had before we end tonight's meeting?
Good job.
Thank you. Ken, anything?
No, it's great. Great to see everybody on board online tonight and keeping scouting moving forward. So, Lori, thanks for hosting tonight.
Thank you. And Eric, thank you for getting us all on here at the same time. I appreciate the help.
No problem. Happy to be here.
All right. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. Keep scouting on, and we'll see you next month.
Thanks.
Catch you later. Bye.
Bye.